relationship with the church as the Medici did. Nor was it an accident that, in the Grand Ducal throne room in Palazzo Vecchio, behind the seat of the prince, stood a statue of her ancestor, Pope Leo X, born Giovanni de' Medici, the second son of Lorenzo de' Medici. In the same Grand Ducal audience area, the sculptural group portrayed another ancestor, Pope Clement VII, in the act of crowning the Emperor Charles V in Bologna in the year 1530. 7 years after that event, a nephew of the Pope, Cosimo de' Medici, became Duke of Florence. Cosimo and his beautiful Spanish wife, Leonora Toledo, promoted grandiose artistic and architectural projects in the most important sites of Florentine public life, such as Palazzo Vecchio and the Duomo. The Medici were Catholic princes and gave great attention to public religious observance. The ceremonies were all held in the cathedral or in other churches of the city, which in practice served the Medici as theatres of sovereignty. This custom explains the generosity of the ruling family's princes in adding to the splendor of Florence's churches and their furnishings. In 1547, Cosimo I commissioned a new and sumptuous choir for the cathedral. In 1572, he gave orders for the pictorial decoration of the inner shell of Brunelleschi's great cupola. 3,600 square meters of painting, where the Grand Duke himself, together with his heir, the future Francesco I, are depicted, along with Chardonnay and King Saint Louis of France. Francesco I sought to complete work on the cathedral with a modern facade. In order to do so, it was necessary to dismantle, in 1587, the unfinished medieval facade. Francesco commissioned the project from his friend and court architect Bernardo Buontalenti, drawn up and presented in that same year. This design foresaw a 3-story layout, rich with classicizing details that expressed the taste of the contemporary Florentine mannerist style. After Francesco's death in 1587, his brother Ferdinando de' Medici, a cardinal but not a priest, was released from his clerical obligations in order to assume the crown of the Tuscan Grand Duchy. 2 years later, for his wedding, a false facade was erected, with imposing painted and stucco decor, including large statues carved by the leading sculptors of the period. Inside the cathedral, sumptuously painted decorations were set up. In 1591, Ferdinando I entrusted Giovanni Antonio Dosio project of designing the definitive facade of the cathedral, preferring him over Buontalenti because of his training in the city of Rome, where many churches were being provided with impressive facades. Dosio's project reduced the levels to 2, the lower one using elements of a colossal classical style work. Dosio had already worked in Florence in 1582, when he renovated the palace of Cardinal Alessandro Ottaviano de' Medici, Archbishop of the city since 1573. The palace was located only 200 meters away from the Duomo, and this proximity explains the endeavor of the Grand Dukes to modernize the incomplete medieval facade. Dosio's design mirrored the facade of the palace. His project would transform the entire piazza into a modern and unified urban space. But Dosio's project was not carried out, nor was that of a member of the ruling family, the amateur architect Don Giovanni de' Medici, nor even the one prepared in 1636 by the Florentine Academy for Ferdinand II, grandson of Ferdinand I. Not until 1688 did the cathedral receive a facade, the one provided by Grand Duke Cosimo III on the occasion of his son's wedding. This, however, was not an architectural structure, but rather a colossal painted mural, destined to dominate the life of the piazza for 170 years. It traces are still visible in the first photographs of the Duomo, dating from the 1850s. By that time, the Lorraine dynasty had replaced the Medici, and the first stirrings of the Italian Risorgimento gave birth to the idea of a return to the style of the free medieval common. In 1858, the Associazione Fiorentina was created to give the Duomo a neo-Gothic facade, a project developed in the new context of a unified national government. Yet, the cathedral's painted front